Hello, my wonderful students, and welcome to this lecture on the Unix and Linux operating systems. In this lecture, I'm going to go over a brief history of Unix and Linux, as well as talk about the commonalities that they share. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Unix was first developed in the 1960s by AT&T Bell Labs. In contrast, the Linux kernel began development in 1991 by Linus Torvald. One major difference between Unix and Linux is that Unix is a proprietary operating system, meaning that the source code for Unix is not publicly available. In contrast, the source code for Linux is open source, meaning that it is publicly available. Another difference between Unix and Linux are the graphical user interfaces, i.e. desktop environments, that have been built on top of them. As an example, Mac OS is a popular Unix graphical user interface, while GNOME 3 is a popular Linux graphical user interface. Now, I understand what I have gone over thus far has been very brief, and I debated about how much detail I wanted to get into concerning the history of Unix and Linux. However, since the nature of this course is practical and not theoretical, the main takeaway that I want you to get from this lecture is that while Unix and Linux are two separate operating systems, they do share a common command line interface known as the bash shell, and that is what you will be learning about throughout the rest of this course. So that's all I have for this lecture. Thank you all so much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Until then, happy learning.